Do you ever feel like you have to work crazy hours? Otherwise your business will just fall apart and nothing will get done. Well, what if I told you that every time my 7 or 8 figure clients start to work less, they end up making more money? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system that you can use to start running your $1 million business in 4 hours a day or less so that you can step out of the day-to-day, work less, and scale faster. And the reason most business owners can't get there yet is simple, and it's something that I see all the time with my clients. You know, they come to me maybe working 12-hour days, sometimes 14-hour days, and when I look at how they're spending their time, it is always the same. And I mean always. They're doing employee work. But here's what makes this tricky, right? It might not look like employee work. You're likely not sitting there doing your books, okay? You're probably, doing sales, you're probably managing the big projects for your team, and all of this stuff feels important. But really you're stuck in the weeds, doing tasks that someone on your team should be handling. And therefore, because you're doing them, nobody is actually running and growing the business because you, the business owner, is too busy doing everything else. So look, your job is not to do everything, okay? You're the business owner. Your job is to run and grow the business. And those are two very different things because you see the tasks that run and grow a business, they're the things that only you can do. And not doing them is literally costing you money. Like let's say you're spending 4 hours a day on tasks that you could hire someone to do for $100 a day. It's not basic admin stuff because it's $100, right? It's relatively high skilled work and it's something that you're pretty good at it, right? And that's maybe $400 a day that you're saving by not outsourcing or delegating it. But if you'd spent those same 4 hours on something that was actually important, those hours could easily be worth $5,000, $10,000 or more. So you're not saving money by doing everything yourself. You're spending hours every day to save a few $100s whilst leaving thousands on the table. So what are the tasks that actually fall under your job description as the business owner? Well, really there's only 2 categories that matter. The first is strategic actions. These are the big projects, the things that you do once but move the business forward in a meaningful way. So this could be the likes of launching a new offer, a new SKU, fixing a bottleneck, hiring a key person, whatever it is, it's going to be relatively specific to your business and where you're at. The second is marketing. So the likes of content especially, but any way of generating visibility and getting in front of new people, because without marketing, you have no leads, which means no new sales, and the business stops growing no matter how well everything else is running. Now, theoretically, everything in business can be delegated, even marketing and strategic actions. But they're the 2 highest leverage things you can do. And so really, they're all that matter right now, okay? Everything outside of those 2 things, the admin, the operations, the day-to-day fires, those things are not your job. Now, you might be thinking, what about sales? I'm the best closer in my business. Nobody converts like I do. And you might be right. You probably are the best closer. It's something I see all the time because you know the product the best, you know the avatar the best, you know the problems, you know the benefits, etc., etc. But that is the problem because as long as you're the best closer in your business, you will never build a sales process that works without you, which means your revenue hits a hard ceiling, which is your call capacity. You can only take so many calls or sales meetings and you can only be in so many conversations every day. So I'm the best at this is not a reason to keep doing it. It's actually proof that you've just built a bottleneck around yourself and that the longer you hold on to the role, the longer that ceiling stays exactly where it is. Now, depending on your business and situation, in the short term, you might have to do other things that you should, quote unquote, not do. But in the long run, you need to either delegate them, automate them, or drop them entirely. So for example, you might still be the one who gets on sales calls, but the goal isn't to be the best salesperson in your business forever. The goal is to build a sales process that doesn't go through you. Even if it's 80% is good, because 80% of your close rate multiplied by practically unlimited capacity, depending on how many sales reps you hire, beats 100% multiplied by just you. So like right now, you're basically a Michelin star chef who insists on cooking every meal and then personally delivering every single plate to each table. The food's incredible, but you can basically only serve 4 tables a night. It's fucking useless. And every minute you spend on employee work is a minute you're not doing the work that actually scales and grows the bloody business. So now that you know what you need to focus on, how do you actually structure your day around it so that you can work less and still grow? Well, before I give you the structure, I need to tell you why your last attempt at this probably failed. Because look, you've probably tried to protect your mornings, block out focus time, do the important stuff first. I talk about it in practically every video, right? And it likely still fell apart for you within a week. And there's actually a very specific reason for that. See, most of your wasted time on the likes of employee work or whatever is not random. It is reactive. So you might think you're spending most of your day on business owner work, but when you actually track it, you find out that you've lost 3 hours to emails, an hour to a call that didn't need to happen, another hour just reacting to things as they come up, and essentially the day is gone and you've only done employee work without ever touching the business owner work, which is a huge reason you can work all day and feel like you got nothing done, because really you didn't get anything done. And because all the work felt urgent, it felt justified. You know, like you weren't sitting there scrolling bloody TikTok or whatever, you were doing work. So it didn't feel like wasted time, even though it was. It's like writing a meal plan and then eating whatever your kids leave on their plate. You had a plan. Plan was great. The plan is now called chicken nuggets, okay, and in a dinosaur shape or something. And really that's why time blocking alone doesn't work for a lot of business owners. You can block out your calendar all you want, but if you haven't fixed the triggers that pull you off schedule, time blocking is never going to work, no matter how powerful and useful it actually is. So we do need to fix the triggers before we can restructure your day. And to do that, we first need to find the triggers. Now, the way I get my clients to do this is through a time audit. And there are 2 steps to this. So let me jump on the computer and we'll get it up and I'll walk you through it. So firstly, we need an idea of where your time is going, because this is sort of like the base as to which we will compare where your time is actually going. Now, to do that, all you have to do is answer a few questions that essentially analyze how you think your time is spent. So if we look at this time audit, there's 4 sections, and essentially, you know, this question, you can just click this wee arrow and it's a drop down, gives you a couple of options. You choose whichever option is relevant to you and which is true to you, at least to how you think it is. And then you can scroll down, it'll give you results. So it'll give you a score out of 100. It'll give you a score for each category. And then it'll give you red flags that are essentially the biggest bottlenecks for how you spend your time and what you need to improve the most. And then, you know, it'll tell you what to fix, how to fix it. And then it gives you sort of what your score means. And then it gives you the definitions, okay? Now, once you figure that out, that essentially gives you an idea of how you think your time is being spent. But now we need to actually figure out where your time is really going. And to do that, we actually want to track your time for a few days and essentially compare the two. So there are 2 extra sheets in this spreadsheet. One is how to use a tracker. There's a quick breakdown of how to actually use it. The second is the tracker itself. And as you can see, I recommend doing this for 7 days. So Monday through Sunday. If you don't work Sunday, you don't work Saturday, whatever, you don't have to track on them days. But essentially, I recommend coming in here every hour. So, you know, let's say it's 9 o'clock. You come in at 9 o'clock and you fill in what you did in 15-minute blocks for the past hour. So you fill in 8 to 8:15, 8:15 to 8:30, etc. And then once you do that for a week, you can essentially compare it to this, find the differences, and once you see where the differences are, then you know where to improve. And so one thing I will tell you right now is that the gap between those 2 things, so where you think your time is going and where it's actually going, is likely going to be brutal, because you see yourself as the business owner, but when you look at your actual calendar, your actual day, what it's likely going to show you is that you've been operating as an operations manager, and maybe a very good one, but still an operations manager all the same. Now, when you track your time, here's the thing that I really want you to do. I want you to look for this. Don't just track what you're doing, track what initiated it. What I mean is, see, most wasted time, like I said, is not random busy work. It can be, like this will be unique to you, but normally I see with clients that most of your wasted time is reactive. Someone messaged you, so you responded. Something broke, so you fixed it. A client needed something, so you just jumped on it and helped them out. So what you want to do is track or keep note of what is reactive, and then fix that either through setting boundaries or building systems or both, so that the reactive stuff disappears and you can finally stick to your damn schedule. So, you know, for example, if you come in at 9 o'clock and you fill in what you did from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in 15-minute blocks, and you see at 8:30 you replied to a team member's message, we then know that that is a reactive trigger that you can then fix. So we can then build a system or improve a SOP, or depends on the problem how you solve it, but you improve it through building a system or setting a boundary that will then remove that trigger so that their team member does not have to ask you that question again. Okay, I've put a link to this time audit tool that I just walked you through. It's the exact one I give my clients. It's in the description below, so make sure you get it and actually use it to, you know, audit your time. Now, with that, here's how you structure your day. You want to start your day with your MIT. That is your most important task, okay? MIT, most important task. Typically, this is going to be the next step of your strategic action for the day. So a strategic action is essentially what we call a big project in the MOS, and it's a thing that moves the business forward that you likely only do once, And simply, by the nature of it being a project, it's going to have multiple steps. For you to make progress on that project, you need to be doing those steps consistently. And it's likely the most important thing you have to do today. So you want to make sure you're prioritizing that step by scheduling it first. And simply you want to do this first because this is when your energy and your focus are at their highest. And this work needs your best thinking. It's important. It's likely going to be difficult and challenging. So we want to give it our all. Now, once that is done, you want to move into your marketing. So creating your content or ads or whatever that looks for you. Obviously, how your day looks will be unique to you because maybe you have kids, like most of my clients have kids. And so maybe you also have marketing delegated, whatever this is, it will be unique to you, but this is the general structure. And so the one rule that I give to my clients that I can always give and essentially demand that you follow is that before 12 p.m, the only things you work on are on the business important work. Now that might look different for you depending on what tasks you own, what responsibilities you have in the business. Like this structure isn't magic, okay? All we're doing is essentially going, okay, this is the most important thing, let's do it first. And because you've removed the reactive triggers that used to blow up your schedule and mean you couldn't do that, you can now follow your schedule because you've removed those triggers. Then after 12 p.m, you can do everything else you need to do, all the in the business work. So the calls, the admin, the team catch up, the emails, whatever it is. And because you've already done the work that matters, you don't have to worry about when you'll do those important tasks. They're done. You've already moved the needle and now you can do whatever you need to do. And now that you can see where your time is actually going, you know how to structure your day, the next step is to get your time back. The way you do that is by systemizing and delegating everything that is not your job. So let's say your time audit shows you're working 8 hours a day, which for most business owners can be on the low end, but only 2 of those hours are on business owner only work. The other 6 is essentially on employee work. Well, that's 6 hours a day that you shouldn't be doing. It's essentially wasted time. So you build systems around those tasks and delegate them to someone. This way, those tasks still get done, just not by you. And see, when you do this correctly, your business operates without relying on you, which is exactly how business should work. And what that gives you is your time back. So instead of only spending 20% of your time on important work, you can now spend 100% of your time on important work, whether that's 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, or 12 hours a day is up to you. And when you build your systems correctly, the work gets done to a standard that you're happy with and that keeps clients happy, customers happy, etc. And so look, the question isn't whether you know what to do. It's why you keep ending up back in the weeds, stuck in the day-to-day. This is what this is, okay? It's a systems problem. You keep getting pulled back into the day-to-day, making your team and business rely on you because nothing is set up to run without you. So you have to build the systems and make the right behavior automatic, the natural thing you do, and the same for your team. Now, if you want to start that process, I would recommend grabbing that time audit tool in the description. It'll show you exactly where your time is going, what's initiating the waste and reactivity, and what to fix first. And if you want to see how to build systems that your business runs without you, click the video on screen now, and I'll show you exactly how to do that.